And so I'm in this race since February 1st, the first person to take on Donald Trump. And this last 4 days, I have been really angry. I've been angry about the reaction of my party to a number of things. One, in front of 60 judges, President Trump and other people like him are still trying to overturn the 2020 election instead of looking forward. Hey, Nixon didn't do that in 60, right? He moved forward. We now have seen a civil case in New York charging the president with wrongdoing. Okay, people could say, well, that's a New York City judge. But convicted of sexual assault in a trial jury is too much. I don't come from that sort of lane of behavior. And the lane of behavior and the discussions that go on with President Trump have to stop for my party to return to some sense of normalcy. But what happened the other day, and I've read the indictment, I've seen the videos, I've watched what he did with this information, and let me tell you all something. If you're a sergeant, and I know a sergeant, he's standing right there, a guy who enlisted in the Navy, who handled secret documents, he told me what would happen to him if he even took it to the bathroom in his pocket. They come and grab you and take you to the brig. Today, in Florida, there's a lieutenant colonel who's spending 3 years in prison because he took secret documents and took them home. He didn't give them to the Russians, he just took them home. 3 years. What did Petraeus get? He got probation and a fine, high-ranking general. Now we've got 3 individuals who have taken stuff home, but in the case of Donald Trump, the former president, he spent a year and a half fighting it. He spent time telling people how great it was that he had it, and this is why he's going to go to court. And this is why my party has to say enough is enough. Enough is enough now, and move on. But the other candidates, they won't do it. And I'm disgusted with them. Not Asa Hutchinson. Not even Chris Christie, who said some things. But the other ones who either worked for him. By the way, think of Mike Pence today. Mike Pence not only had secret documents at his house and gave them back, but for 4 years did the president's bidding on everything and only seemingly had a problem with 1 day. And he's running for president. Would you do that? That makes no sense at all. So that's where we are today, folks. I wanted to go over, I got one thing I thought I'd share with you. And it's some of the statements of how other candidates are reacting to the federal indictment. One of them, here's Ron DeSantis again. Quote, the weaponization of federal law enforcement represents a mortal threat to society. The man went to Harvard Law School. What is he talking about? Why would it be weaponized? There are videotapes of the president illegally taking top secret documents to his house in Mar-a-Lago and stonewalling federal investigators for a year and a half. They're in his bathroom, by the way. Is that a little too much? But that's what narcissists do. And listen, it'd be one thing if he had been a narcissist president for 4 years and we just kind of put up with it and okay, whatever. You gotta have a big ego to run for president anyway. But the fact that if you notice what narcissists do, remember when President Trump had people in from the oil companies into his office and they all had to clap for him. It reminds you of Stalin. What a great job you're doing, Mr. President. Over and over. Who does he hang around with? I'm hanging around with my high school friends. Who does he hang around with? Really important people. Who does he cite? Really important people who come to the White House. This is narcissism. This is his problem. We can pray for him about that. But what's happening in our country where people now think, and here's the real problem, younger people are beginning to believe this kind of behavior is actually okay. It is not. It is not okay to look a 31-year-old lady who hasn't spit on you, who just interrupts you, and say you're nasty. It's not, it wouldn't be okay with my father. And this is what has to return to the Republican Party and to our country. Civil discourse. If you go home tonight, watch the Kennedy-Nixon debate. In fact, watch any debate before 2016. Watch any debate. Even watch the 2011 debate with Herman Cain, who was my friend in the debate. You will never see this kind of stuff. It ended. And it has to go back to people respecting each other's views and doing what's right for the country and running on issues like I am, not trying to gain sycophants votes.